Hello and welcome to Outsiders Weather and the Skeptics Ice Age Watch. Now, let me remind you that at 11 o'clock here on Sky, there will be a New South Wales update on COVID. So if that's your thing, you want to be watching that at 11 o'clock. In the meantime, Outsiders Weather and the Skeptics Ice Age Watch, where the mercury has plunged around Australia with winter well and truly here. Sydney shivered through its coldest morning of winter last week, with temperatures down to around 5.5 degrees Celsius, while Canberra saw its coldest day for 12 years, with the maximum temperature getting to just 6.3 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. Not only will it remain cold, but the forecasters say expect it to get soggier and soggier as Sydney-siders huddle indoors in lockdown, as the empty streets are drenched with excessive amounts of precipitation, or to give it its technical term, as the east goes full Flannery. And indeed, that's what's happened in Subiaco as well. They've gone full Flannery. Meanwhile, Ice Age Watch fans know that Siberia suffered one of its coldest starts to the year on record. According to Electroverse, temperatures across the vast Asian region held more than 20 degrees Celsius below the seasonal average, with lows of minus 50 degrees Celsius and even minus 60 degrees Celsius, and readings among the lowest ever recorded in the Northern Hemisphere. Asia's prolonged winter chills led to both food and energy prices soaring to record heights, as one Chinese merchant complained that vegetables in his greenhouse had frozen to death. The cold spell also resulted in thousands of reindeer starving to death on Russia's Yamal Peninsula due to the animals' forage being locked under unusually thick ice. Why do I mention this? Because our children are continually being taught that disaster awaits if the planet warms up by even a few degrees, even, of course, when history tells us that the real danger to life on Earth is the cold, which is precisely what is happening in Kenya, according to the Kenya Meteorological Department, who have observed that the cold of winter started earlier, nearly 3 months earlier this year than normal. The chill, they say, has been ravaging growing regions across East Africa, with temperatures in places plummeting close to freezing, which is astonishing. Beatrice Macharia, an agronomist with Growth Point, says the cold weather provides a perfect environment for diseases, in particular blight, to thrive. And she notes that farmers growing crops in the field, in particular tomatoes, capsicums, peppers, cucumbers, potatoes, and onions, are having it rough due to the unusually fierce and persistent cold. Macharia suggests that growing crops in greenhouses may be the way forward, as such structures protect crops from blight by holding the mercury some 5 degrees Celsius above the outside temperature. Indeed, Bernard Njuguna, a farmer in the Rift Valley, is among those counting his losses due to the cold weather. The historic chill wiped out his crop just as it was at the flowering stage. Njuguna lost his entire harvest. Well, according to xinhuanet.com, Njuguna has since erected a greenhouse on his farm, following advice from local agricultural authorities. And here's the really sick twist. Those authorities in Kenya claim the unusually cold weather is because of climate change. Global warming is now making parts of Africa freezing, apparently. Or, to put it another way, in order to combat the greenhouse effect, poor Kenyan farmers are being urged to purchase expensive greenhouses. Winter in the Southern Hemisphere has also brought an unusual cold weather spell from Antarctica into South America. Low temperature records have been broken, with snowfall returning to parts of South Brazil that have not seen snow in decades. Again, this record cold weather, according to Electroverse, is ravaging the region's crops, lowering yields and spiking prices and nations such as Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Brazil are suffering an extreme and unprecedented chill with historic snowfall to match. Heavy frosts have been reported in Brazil's sugarcane, coffee, and cornfields. As reported, on a news outlet in Sao Paulo registered record low temperatures and expects further drops. Marco Antonio dos Santos, a local meteorological expert, says it has been a long time since we have had these kind of frosts in Brazil. Back in the Northern Hemisphere summer, Hartford and Providence in Massachusetts narrowly missed out on suffering their coldest July 3rd of all time, records going back to 1914. Indeed, as Boston's National Weather Service tweeted at 9:15 a.m. on July the 3rd, here's a remarkable fact. The high temperatures on Christmas Day 2020 may top the high temperatures today in summer 2021. I just pray there aren't any power cuts, because then the lights would go out in Massachusetts. It's enough to give you the heebie-jeebies.
Feel I'm going back to Massachusetts. Something's telling me I must go home.